Hey guys, Monk52 here of course, and today we're taking out the Tirptiz. You saw earlier there's the module, you can just pause it straight away, as people do this, and we'll be quick with this one, because it's nice and quick and cheerful video. This is on stream with Blaemeister and Solicitor here. Mr. Blay here is on YouTube's, he's on YouTube as well, but he's also on the Twitchies, so do check him out. Occasionally I'll join him, and he'll have other special guests like Tahir Yak, like Hive, and even myself from time to time, so yeah. I was taking out Tirptiz. I thought, I don't know why people have been talking about global XP ships and, whether the Tirptiz is still relevant or not. And I thought I'd try a different rebuild and take a look. So we're running an Alidad focus build. This is Hyde with the 5-hour fire. Now that 5-hour fire is heavily buffed. We're running Alidad for the improved pen angles, essentially. We're running a full secondary build with the exception of not using Porcupine and Alidad instead. But, it's not bad. You could spec for something else, but I quite like having nearly 7 kilometer secondaries of my Tirptiz. It is nice to have them firing quickly and accurately, because the Tirptiz still has the same amount of secondaries as Bismarck does. Obviously the range is completely different, but you do have advantages of having secondaries. They can be nice. A possible, other options would be, like potentially more AP damage, or even Von Essen for even more penetration angles, or even more health or fire chance. There's tons of options you can do, really, but I think a second year build isn't that really bad for Tirptiz either. I recommend building into your guns more of Tirptiz. They just seem to be more reliable than Bismarck in a long shot. Now, Bismarck has a couple of interesting traits. Obviously, the big noticeable difference, it has torpedoes instead of sonar. And also has improved healing of citadel damage. It has an improved heal. And it's also a bit tankier than Bismarck. It has a bit more armor. It's a bit heavier. At least historically. I believe it has a bit more armor than Bismarck, but it's pretty similar. Secondaries are firing on Akizuki here. Kind of a scary thing to see, about 4 kilometers. But again, we have torpedoes too. So we did fire them off there in case I thought he'd run away. But he's being quite aggressive. Looks like a torpedo booster potentially there. I think that's one hit. We can dodge this if we're fast enough. Tirptiz is quite quick as well. So we do this. King George approaching. Now King George has been heavily nerfed with the new change to Ray Citadel, which means it's pretty rough. Carrier is coming in there, which isn't great, but we have improved AA over the Bismarck again because we are basically a newer model of Bismarck. So, we just got to take the torpedoes. That's the thing. The carriers, because we're really scared about that. Enemy destroyer. I still think he's alive, but it turns out the carrier did actually kill him with a set of torps. I'm torping the Akizuki here, thinking he's still alive, because I was worried about him using his real booster and killing us, but I actually see his dead carcass there. I'm like, oh, okay, I just wasted my torpedo set for nothing. Well, okay then. So, we're going to pursue and get rid of this King George, because we don't have torpedoes at the minute, but he won't have torpedoes at all, so we can really use that to our advantage. Now, again, my brain's probably not thinking at 100% here. I think not all engines are firing, if you know what I mean here. Because I did just try and kill an Akizuki with torpedoes who was already dead. And I've only got 15 seconds left of this cap. And I'm thinking, I can really get it. But the problem is, though, I feel the King George secondaries will do some mighty good. Or at least the guns will reset me anyway. So I might as well let the destroyer cap here. So I do leave the cap here a little bit foolishly, I guess. But it doesn't really make too much of a difference. But you can see the King George is surprisingly easy to Citadel now. So much so, especially with Alidad proccing in. That was another Citadel, and the front guns again, that's another Citadel. And that's a devastating strike on a King George, which again was incredibly nigh impossible before because of the lower Citadel. Carrier is, of course, having the biggest fun with us as possible. He is loving us. There we go, he's farming the crap out of us. We've got a broadside Iowa to shoot at as well. It's been a very aggressive game, and it shows you can, when you've got some division mates who are also aggressive with you. I believe Blaemeister is very close to me, and our Slisto Destroyer here is in the Bravo camp. So aggressive play, when you're coordinated and you work it well, it's planned out well, can be very effective. Now Blay here is taking the alternative where he's going to the left hand side, staying in that cap, which is still not being captured by the way because he's been reset. At least with Miley leaving the cap, the Destroyer has more capture points on his side. So I think it'll get capped faster, the fact that I'm not there. Plus it means we have a prong, a pincer movement from people across those islands, mostly towards this Nagato and potentially the Isle as well. Now, Carrier's been giving us a lot of crap, a lot of harassment, me and Bleemeister here, the other battleship, as well. So it's likely that he is on this side, you know, because usually carriers will go after their biggest threat, which is the people who are usually closest to them. So yeah, usually. Again, depending on how good a carrier player you are. Anyway, really almost a broadside Nagato, but we do have the Alidad here, which means the improved ricochet angles, essentially. It means that you have less RNG when it comes to your shots bouncing or not. But when your shots cannot pen, you know, there's less RNG, if that makes sense. So when something's bow on, you're guaranteed to get a ricochet. Almost guaranteed. Your guaranteed ricochet angle when is increased. But your RNG angle when trying to get a hit, so say you hit this Nagato at an angle, you have an RNG check angle, there's a guaranteed angle. Guaranteed angle is unchanged, but the RNG check angle is reduced, meaning you have less RNG involved in your shots. So you're getting more pens at sharper angles. But at the sharpest angles, when you cannot pen, you're guaranteed. You don't have an RNG chance, it's reduced. If that makes sense to you. It's a very difficult way to explain that particular skill, but basically you can pen more. You're more reliably getting hits on semi-angled targets, but heavily angled targets you're less reliant to get actually damaging hits. Your RNG angle is reduced, so you're going to shatter, you're going to ricochet more on sharper angled ships, but slightly angled ships you'll do more consistent damage. Basically, that's what Alidad means. So there's pros and cons to it again. It means at this sort of angle you're guaranteed to get more hits, as you can see here, but if he was bow on, I would guarantee to get more ricochets. You know, there might be a chance I might not get it, might be an RNG angle there, but you can see that's what Alidad does. So it's quite effective in lots of cases if you get a lot of broadside targets, which is, this match is definitely the case. Our secondaries are propping here. We've set a fire already with the Nagato. I mean, he didn't really need it. You know, our shells are doing plenty as it is, but just in case, the fire would have been effective. So I'm going to say that was reasonably well. Carrier is giving us the most love and joy. It feels so warm and fuzzy. You've looked at the damage already. We are 150k with 7 citadels, and they've all been on battleships, and this George is kind of no exception. Now he's partially angled here, you see, but this is where Alidad comes in, and again, you have improved penetration here, so it means you're more likely to get these pens at slightly angled targets, but heavily angled targets should do less. Now, you've got the Kaga here. I want to shoot the Kaga too, but the time it takes for my guns to return, at the minute, Georgia is the more immediate threat, because the Carrier is death by 1,000 cuts, whereas Georgia is Yeetus, Deletus, I kill you now. So yeah, Georgia at the immediate time is more dangerous, so make sure you get rid of him. That should get rid of him. Let's turn our guns towards the Kaga. Teammate gets rid of Georgia, I believe. Yes, he does. Our torpedoes are heading home on Kaga again. Carriers usually don't do too much maneuvering. He's going to take some. He's going to take all 3, I believe. All 4, is it? Is it all 4? Takes 3, and our front guns are available. We're going to yeet them into that. Accuracy is pretty good because we're using hide, and there we go, the final citadel of that match of 231,000 damage. So yeah, Tirptiz, if played correctly, is still a beast to be reckoned with, guys. So, hope this video answers a couple people's questions when they ask about global XP ships. Tirptiz is not a bad choice overall. So guys, nice, short, sweet. I'll love you and leave you. See you later, guys, and have a good time. Bye for now.